The Opester, quickly, and then we'll finish up with Owen a little bit. The Opester, what is this guy doing? All he does is go on Facebook Live. I think that's his platform. He gets, I don't know, how many people does he get watching live at the time? I don't know, it's like 100 maybe. I think I'm overselling it. Oh, hello. I think I'm overselling it. But he calls out the people that are there. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Johnny, hey, Beverly's here. Thanks, Bev, for hanging out. And he does that while people get into the room. I do a lot of what they call streaming. I was on Cozy this weekend. You could probably pop on there, cozy.tv/Cumia. And, I'm playing some Call of Duty and talking about shit. But I don't get on and then wait. Like I wait for people to get on. It's what it is. I don't think, you're going to miss what? The first few things I say? I don't know. You'll get into the conversation. You got to get right into it. He'll sit there, and John does that too, just waiting for people to get in the room. If you have that few people that you know are going to come in that you have to wait till everyone gets in, it's pretty sad. Greggy does this all the time. And then his whole thing, and it's not a show, and I've talked about this on Who Are These Podcasts, and I've talked about this here. Opie refuses to do a show that would be considered a show. Somebody would look at it and go, oh, that's Opie's show. Because he has such a lack of confidence that he can do a show that he doesn't want people to go, oh, but compared to that, it sucks. Because if people go, oh, dude, what are you doing? What you're doing stinks. He goes, yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's just my own thing. But your show, it's not a show. I'm just doing this. I'm talking. I'm just chilling and rapping with the people, man. Because he's petrified of criticism. He's petrified of failure again. And putting something out there that people would consider an entertainment program. And then have to be judged against other ones. So we'll get on and literally call out other legitimate programs that are doing stuff every day with guests and topics and actual listeners, and then say how much better he is than those shows while he does nothing but take questions, get annoyed because the questions are all about myself, the O&A Show, Jimmy, Sam Roberts, E-Rock, whatever, the old days. And he goes, every time one comes up, you'll see him, because this is what he does. He just, again? Really? Really? We're going to talk about this again? All right. Did Anthony Well, it's up to you to take the question. Have a list of topics maybe to go to. If questions come up that you don't want to answer, have a conversation with the viewers about something you're interested in. Oh, that would entail having an interest in anything. He's devoid of passion. Devoid of passion about anything. It's sociopathic. I have never discussed anything with him where he seemed genuinely excited to talk about it. I could sit there and talk about certain topics where you have to discuss them maybe, and you make the best out of it. But there are certain topics I am very passionate about, and I enjoy talking about it, and I enjoy enlightening people on those topics. I swear to Christ, in all the years I've known Opie, I've never seen this fucker excited to discuss anything. Everything he does has to be something for how people will perceive him. So he's never really passionate about anything. He just wants to put something out there. Oh, I went on vacation. Went to Turks and Caicos. Oh, fucking great, man. It was just good. But it isn't even like passionate. He wants more than enjoying it himself and speaking about it and wanting to convey how awesome it was to loved ones or family or fans, he just wants to tell people he went. So his image could be other people going, wow, God, it must be so cool to be him. That's been Opie forever. That's the guy he is. The other part of him, he absolutely will convince himself of things. I've never seen this in real life. I've seen it in movies, sociopaths, serial killers, things like that. But I've never seen a real person that I've been involved with seeing a situation, maybe something that happened, a few years ago, and I vividly remember it. And he conveys that story, and it's completely different. It has no basis in reality anymore. And it's not even like he's lying, not like Stut Joe. He believes it. This is his new interpretation of what happened. So when he says stuff like Patrice O'Neill said Anthony's a racist and that, thought Anthony was a terrible guy, a racist and everything, he believes that. There's no convincing him of any different. He believes it. It's a mental fucking illness. He's mentally ill, I assure you. Different than Stuttering John. Stuttering John is stupid. Opie is also stupid, but he's mentally ill too. There's a difference there. So Opie will absolutely convince himself that certain things happened. He was convinced when I did the Howard Stern show. I was doing the Jackie Martling thing. And I came in the next day. He's like, oh, Howard's calling you, man. Howard's calling you, and that's it. You're going to go over to Howard Stern's show, and like a bitch, I swear, like a bitch. It's like, you're going to go to him? What does he have that I don't? He was so convinced, and I couldn't tell him. I'm like, Opie, I'm going, we're going to do the Boston thing. We're going to do fucking whatever it is. Oh, no, Howard will call you tomorrow. That was too good. He was going to fucking call you. Did he call you? He called you, right? I believe in his head, he thought he called me. And to this day, he probably will tell the story and go, so then Howard called Anthony and said he wanted him for the show, but then Anthony came up and did my show. He's done this for years. He just comes up with these make-believe scenarios. He's been talking. Now, I said it before, 300 views his videos get when he just talks about doggy. Oh, hey, doggy, look, it's my doggy. Oh, what was that? Whoa, dude, a seagull just flew over the beach. Is that insane? A seagull flying over the beach is insane. Yeah. It's wow, can't imagine that happening. That's crazy. So he whenever he's doing anything that does not entail myself, O&A, Jimmy, and or Sam, he gets no one watching. And he's seen this. And the one thing Opie knows from being a radio since he was 18 years old is that you go with what works. So if what's getting him the views and the click-throughs and whatnot is talking about us, he's gonna keep talking about us. Regardless if it's good, bad, indifferent, lies, real shit. I don't know. I think there's plenty of real shit. If he wants to do these O&A retrospectives, you could do that. There's plenty of material and things where it's not literally just bashing me and Jimmy and Sam or anyone else. But he knows those are the ones that gets him hits. So here's a little bit. Let's start with one Opie clip here.
Let my ego ruin what? Oh my God.
See, again, pause, please. Please, just pause. Again, there's a graphic up. There's not even, like, he didn't have to take this. He didn't have to go. He could have seen this question and just gone like, all right, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the beautiful clouds in the sky and the ocean behind me and whatnot. It's sad because we remember what you were. You let your ego ruin it. And now he's got to talk about it and defend himself. So here's Greg.
The show ran its course, Jen. Let me get rid of Jen. She's too sad. Jen's too sad for this. We got to get rid of Jen. She's sad. Said my ego ruined it. I think Anthony's racist rant ruined it. You dishonest person, you.
Again,
if I was a betting man, if Anthony...
You got to pause for a second. He goes, the show ran its course. No, it didn't. We could have literally still been doing a version of the O&A show. You know, would we be throwing calf livers on girls in 55-gallon drums? No, of course not. The environment changed. But was there a way to discuss controversial topics and have funny guests on and literally be able to sit there and look at each other's miserable face for 4 hours? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. No one, the show would not run its course. Opie ran his course. He was the one that was all fucking pissy about what was going on because it was more Anthony Jimmy than it was Opie and Anthony at that point. Because, and I firmly believe this, Opie's in-laws hated the Opie and Anthony and Jimmy show. Hated the jokes we made at the expense of race, sexuality, talking about crib death and laughing and all that shit. Honestly, his new in-laws hated it. He probably had to hear it all the time. And he was like, I want to change this. We're going to do a cooking show with Carl Ruiz. Whatever, he imagined it would be post Opie and Anthony and Jimmy. It was a failure. It failed. And he just wants to make it sound like my racist rant. Dude, I was saying shit on the show long before 2014. Long before I got fired in 2014, I was saying shit that was racially based. My persona on the air, my character, based on, who I am, but it was very harsh, very fucking outspoken, and we were able to work with it. It wasn't like a Fox News broadcast. Drew Boogie would cut songs out of the racist rants I had. Jimmy would start laughing and calling me a mental patient, and it was hilariously funny. The Obama years, when Obama got elected, hilarious. A lot of people felt like I did. And Opie just sees it as his racist rant. I was assaulted in Times Square by some black. Yeah. And I voiced I voiced my opinion about it. Racist rant. It's typical Opie, typical like Stuttering John, just this phony liberal attitude. This phony liberal, this racist, really? Literally the victim in that. And I never said, I'm the victim. But literally, what was I doing? Walking around snapping pictures and some bitch smacks me because she felt entitled. She felt she was able to do that. And the answer to that was that I'm a racist. Get the fuck out of here. But a little more Opster here.
I was a betting man. If Anthony didn't go on an insanely crazy racist rant, even though we didn't like each other, we would have figured out something to keep the brand going.
Oh, there you go.
Was it my ego? There was a real end to the Opie and Anthony show, and that's when he went on a crazy racist rant and never took responsibility for that.
Because I still don't take I take responsibility for it that I said it. I don't apologize for it. And it was a hell of a rant. There were no slurs thrown in there. I said that the behavior was savage, and it was. I said that there was a problem with violence in the black community. There is. Am I fucking... Please, punch up. People shot in Chicago Labor Day weekend. That's all. Random. I could get screwed here. If it's 0, I am sure going to look stupid. If no one was shot in Chicago over this weekend, I'm going to look stupid by saying that there's an overabundance of violence in the black communities. And I said that on my racist rant, but there was 0. 55 shot, 11 fatal. On Labor Day weekend, one city, Chicago. Fuck off. Fuck you. Racist rant my dick. Accurate rant, shithead. Sorry if the company you fucking tried to work for and failed miserably after I was gone couldn't deal with the truth. Had a kowtow to the likes of Reverend Al and every other douchebag that sees the same problem I did but didn't want to fucking acknowledge it and used me as a scapegoat. Oh, what a racist. Why? Saying the black community is violent? Saying that something's got to be done? Oh, racist. Blow me. Who do you think stole the mirrors on your fucking vehicle, dummy? The mirrors got stolen on his fucking SUV when he parked out on the street because he didn't want to park for the indoor because he didn't want to do the O&A show. He's got kids in school and a wife that likes nice things and a house in the Hamptons and an apartment in Manhattan. And he decided, that garage is a little expensive. I'll park out on the street. Bam! They punched his fucking windows off. Or his mirrors. Who do you think's doing that? Me? People that think like me? People that have the racist diatribe like me? Or the people I was fucking talking about? You fucking dumb shit. Ugh. Liberal. He's another one of these dopes. Stuttering John went hardcore liberal to try to win back the love of his transgender son, daughter. That's why he went liberal. He's not. He's said horrible, racist things over the course of the years. He did that for a reason. He's trying to win back the love and admiration of a girl that he fucked over so bad, she decided to cut her tits off and become a boy. Yeah. Sue me, John. Opie, on the other hand, goes hardcore liberal because he thinks it's going to get him this job at some point. The guy's 60, for fuck's sake. What are you doing? You don't have to be liberal. You don't have to. There's no one going to be knocking on your door because you're anti-racist or you're pro-Biden or you got vaxxed. Go over to fucking CBS FM. Spin some oldies. You're 60. I would feel good. I would actually feel good for the guy. If he went over to Scott Shannon and said, Scott, so, how you doing? Mind if I get a shift? I could spin some fucking oldies. But no. He'll talk like he's a liberal out his ass, hoping that the call comes in from KROQ in L.A., which is gone, isn't it? I don't know. Is that still a place? He was waiting for that, though, forever. He's just waiting for a big station to put young, vivacious Opie on the airwaves again, to be that rebellious young American. You're 60. What are you doing? What are you doing? Holy shit. Yeah, it was me. It was my racist diatribe. That racist fucking persona and personality that I had over the course of all the years that we were on O&A was an attraction. A lot of people fucking tuned in and enjoyed the offshoots of those. Like I said, the Drew Boogie songs, the fucking bits that our production staff would put together because of it. The calls, the phone calls we'd get, pissed off people, whatever it is. What do you think? They were calling because you were playing Candy Crush? Was that why we were going to get calls? Hey, dude. Oh, how's the Candy Crush going? Oh, Snowy from Michigan, Greg. That's who people were tuning in for. Yeah, this guy's an idiot and mentally ill. A little more Greg, please.
Was the end of that clip.
There's another one though, right?
We have the reason why Anthony was fired from the Opie Radio podcast.
Oh, nice. Good. I'd like to hear this. I have no idea.
You guys got too cocky at one point, and that's why management didn't stick up for you guys. No, the show was losing its audience share. Way before Anthony blew up the Opie and Anthony show, we were losing audience share. Our audience wasn't as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
The fact is, if we were as big as we were in our heyday, Anthony wouldn't have been fired. Companies don't have morals. That's why they got rid of me too. I know I was onto something big with Carl and Vic and Sherrod. And I wish I had more time to really show what that show could have done. But the fact is that I wasn't talking to a big audience either, and that's why they got rid of me.
I can't. This guy has such a view of everything in life. Here's, believe it or not, the rational people in that whole situation were Jimmy and myself. I knew what was going on. Believe it or not, audience share was dropping. Yeah. We're shock jocks in our 50s. How about a dose of reality, Opie? We're shock jocks in our 50s. I knew. Why the fuck do you think I wanted to sign 5-year contracts? Every time. I wanted to sign a 5-year deal whenever our contract came up. No, 1 year is all I want to sign. Because again, he thought some magic company was going to call up and go, you two kids are going to make stars out of my network. Shock jocks in their 50s. Take the 5-year deal, dummy. But he had this overblown sense of self-worth, thinking that him and Carl Ruiz were going to make something huge, perhaps bigger than O&A in its heyday was. No. This is how careers go. And you hope it doesn't do this, and you hope it doesn't do this, but this is fine. Be proud of that fucking line. Be proud of that graph. You're holding on to some people. You're getting some new fans, but look, it's the name of the game. This fucking idiot was constantly waiting, thinking every day was 1995. Young mushroom hair dude Opie. Big afroed Anthony with the goatee. We're going to tear it up. Yeah! Bra bombing! Woo! Hey, we had a good run. You want to fucking milk it for all it's worth? I would like to. Thank you. Him and Carl, though. While Carl was a funny guy, Opie is comedy kryptonite. Anyone that's with Opie, by the way, is twice as funny as when they're not with Opie. So if someone's funny with Opie, they're hilarious without Opie. That's just how Opie is. He's comedy kryptonite. So for him to think that, that and anyone else he had gotten on after that was going to be something, they were looking for places to shove him behind the refrigerator. We'll put him under a carpet somewhere. This wasn't like the new rebirth of Greg Opie Hughes. They didn't like him. They didn't like him personally. They certainly didn't like him professionally. They heard all the gripes from people that were just like, this guy's not good. He stinks. He's terrible by himself. So, yeah, it's kind of the way shit worked out. More Greggy.
Companies don't have morals. The heyday of Opie and Anthony, as long as it wasn't some crazy illegal activity, Anthony would have skated after that racist rant, after the Times Square incident. That's just the facts. So, our show wasn't as popular as it used to be. It still was bringing in decent numbers, don't get me wrong. Way more than most of the shows there.
See, he can't even...
the drop-off was starting.
Yeah. And
that's why Anthony made it very easy for them to let him go. And then soon after, what did I last? A couple of years after that, and then same thing happened with me.
that's it. Then he puts a little music. His little clips. These are the things that are going to, promote. I hope he doesn't sue me for playing these in their entirety. Going to sue you, me and John. It's a class action suit. It's a classless action suit. It's kind of funny. Is there another Opster? Yeah, I love the Opsters here. Here we go.
That's all right.
A comb.
I know.
Look into
Jim
it.
And Sam. I mean, that's not even open for discussion. I'm better than Jim and Sam just doing this with no staff, with bad Wi-Fi. I can run circles around those guys. I know that. So that's not a big accomplishment to go, you're better than Jim and Sam. That's an easy one.
Can you believe that he actually, and again, there's like Stuttering John, who's a liar, and then there's Opie, who's a mental patient. Two different things. Well, Stuttering John would say something like that and never believe it. He cannot possibly have the confidence to believe he's better than anybody. I think Stuttering John knows he's terrible, which drives him to try to steal money. But Opie believes it. That's sick. Opie believes can run circles around Jimmy and Sam with what he's doing now. Now, irregardless of how you feel about Jimmy and Sam, they're doing a fucking show. They're getting great guests. They've been on there. They've re-upped their contract. They've got, and I know some people, just like this show, some people can't stand it. Some people love it. Same thing with Jimmy and Sam. Some people can't stand it. Some people love it. But for Opie to actually believe that what he's doing with his phone at his house runs circles around, because the one question I have for Greg, what are you doing? What is that? And that's something I've never gotten an answer to. All I ever see is him talking shit about other people, like this entire program has been today, by the way. I just figured I have to dedicate an entire fucking show to these idiots. That way it doesn't get in the way of other material. But Opie does that all the time. And when he's not, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? I don't know what an Opie show is when he's not talking about myself, Jimmy, Sam, whatever, Carl Ruiz, all that shit. Waxing fantastic about the old days. Has he ever covered a topic, one fucking topic, about something that doesn't involve him, but he might have an opinion on? It goes back to what I was saying. He's passionless. The guy doesn't have an opinion on anything. He'll write shit like, hey, Biden's speech was awesome. Hey, Fauci, sure, he's retiring, but good job, Fauci. Is he trolling? Why wouldn't he say why he thinks they're doing a good job? Again, he's mentally ill, but he's also stupid. So I think the stupid part carries there, where you just don't have anything to say. You don't have anything to say. Throw a topic out. Talk about it. He's incapable. John thinks he can talk about topics, which is even more funny, I think. It's more funny than just going, oh, that guy sucks. Well, why? Because he sucks. John really thinks he knows things. And it's so fun, so fucking fun to listen to.